Good day everyone. Today we're discussing how to discover your authentic self. We humans take on various beliefs, influences that we carry on into this world. It becomes our prism, our filter, our distortion through which we view the world. Our limited perception via the senses defines the world we live in. This is further compounded by the mind's interpretation as well as the current logic and rationality that prevails in the cultural community we live in. What is concerning is we have no clue who we are. That would be great if we admitted to that. However, unfortunately, we also have no clue that we have no clue. Based on whatever perception we have of ourselves, we are prepared to have an opinion as to our identity. All very well if we left it at that. Unfortunately, humankind goes to war to fight for an opinion. In retrospect, when we look at wars, we learn that the war was baseless, a figment of imagination, and was an ego-based power struggle. We hold on to false identities of who we are, afraid to question and challenge them. Since if we do, we'll have to face the fact that when we see ourselves as we truly are, it merely is a pack of lies. We are afraid to face up to reality. Even if we did admit to it, we have no clue still as to who we truly are, let alone then endeavoring to understand those around us, be they family, friend or enemy. No wonder then, in spite of the physical, mental, emotional comfort we live in, we still feel unhappy and unfulfilled. We struggle with the world and people in it, who demand acknowledgement and appreciation for what we see. It contributes to restlessness and agitation. Since we are not sure who we are, we settle for the facade we put out there. Thus, there's a war going on not on the outside, but within us daily. We'll project this inner war onto those around us. They don't get us and don't fulfill our inadequacies. They cannot complete our incomplete. We find that no matter the love we receive, it does not calm the chaos. So who are we? What are we? For most of us, the perception we have of ourselves is generally of a mixture of physical and mental. At a physical level, we identify with our appearance, hairstyle, height, shade of skin, or even the length of our nose. Most of us then spend our lives investing in our physical appearance. Anti-aging is the new big industry where we endeavor to be younger than our biological age. There's even a school of thought that believes that the person who will live to 200 years has already been born. Yet, with COVID for that matter, many of us wondered whether we were going to survive till the next day. In spite of medical advances, we still continue to grow older. We witness our bodies changing inside and outside. Despite our best efforts, our bodies get older, a subject of great grief for many of us. As Jim Morrison, the musician said, no one gets out of here alive. At a mental level, Descartes, the famous French philosopher, said, I think, therefore I am. Many of us define ourselves by the thoughts we have. This would be a very comfortable definition of who we are. However, as much as we choose to identify ourselves by our thoughts, we recognize that the mind cannot be trusted. The Sanskrit couplet describes the antics of the mind, like that of a monkey that has consumed alcohol, is then bitten by a scorpion, and then possessed by demons. We may never admit it, but we cannot even trust our own thoughts. Imagine if you had to sit in a machine that displayed our thoughts on a screen in the presence of family and friends. Most of us would not want to volunteer given the nature of our thoughts. Nonetheless, we develop belief systems based on who we think we are. People let us down and we find ourselves falling short of our very own opinions. Gunatitana Swami in the scripture Swami Nivato states, some control the mind, whereas some are controlled by the mind. This is a statement of worthy daily contemplation. Emotions go hand in hand with the mental. We attach emotion to our mental beliefs and recognition that our minds are great cause of emotional stress. When our expectations are not met, we may fall into a negative emotional state, such as depression or anxiety. As much as we struggle to control our thoughts, we have far less control over our emotions. We would love to sustain a state in which there is chronic happiness. However, most struggle to do so. If we experience negative emotions, we may even resort to medication and other forms of treatment in an endeavor to get a grip on our emotions. As much as we may acknowledge that for example, I am anxious, it is a state that we do not wish to identify with. Finally, spiritually, the soul, or maybe we can call it consciousness, our being, at that deepest and most subtle level of identity, it is beyond the various levels we have described thus far. All the other levels are subject to change, but at that level, it is constant. To understand the essence of who we are makes us extremely powerful. Yet, it does not mean we must become complacent. It still warrants an expression of that spirit. Recognizing ourselves truly as such makes us alive with energy. Our cup then spillets over. It is our true, authentic self. From this deep, subtle, creative level, we manifest the emotions of compassion, love, kindness, emotions that are eternal in their impact. It allows us also at a mental level to define ourselves as a servant, a learner. Humility comes to the fore. A title then also involves infinite growth. The physical body then becomes the manifestation and expression from a deepest source, the soul, the spirit. You are less affected by the world around you because you are then fundamentally creating who you are. You are not determined by the circumstances, but what your spirit wishes to express. I hope you found this video useful. Feel free to subscribe for more like this. Until next time, take care. Bye.